Hello everybody and welcome to your Arachne jungle guide. So on Arachne you need to get your items bought quick because you need to get out and about in the world. So we're going to be grabbing ourselves a mannequin's scepter as well as the katana going into golden blade. So on the mannequins, we should mention right now that it is bugged, not the mannequin's mace itself. The hidden dagger is bugged. It is doing 20% of maximum health right now instead of current health, so it's ridiculously strong. So while Hidden Blade can be a viable idea on Arachne, we are not going to be buying it because that is extremely cheesy and is a very, very large bug. So we'll be upgrading that into the Mannequin's Mace, which is also very, very good. Nothing wrong with Mannequin's Mace. So at the start of the game, we're going to get our webs at level 1, and we're going to put 1 over on the blue buff, and then we're going to put 2 on the speed buff. This is why you need to get out really early on Arachne so you can actually get all of those spiders placed down by the time that the minions spawn. This is going to get you level 2 immediately, which means that the mid lane gank potential is really, really high. And then of course we have a Hand of the Gods there for that second camp. Now we're extremely fast into the mid lane. Baba uses her beads, but between our mannequins, it's not gonna matter. We're gonna grab ourselves that first blood or first blooded. If you do manage to get that first blood, you come right over here. You do these nice side harpies, and then we can rotate directly over to the left lane and go for another quick gank. Arachne is all about the early game aggression. They've got an Artemis over here, which is actually a great target for us. So I'm going to go try to web her. Now I can follow up. He beads. Doesn't really matter that he beads because we are Arachne. As long as we land the web, we are going to be able to chase them down. You always, always, always want to go very aggressive in the early game with Arachne. She has one of the best early game fights in Smite. Even gods like Thanatos, she can do well against, as long as you use those spiders kind of as like a body blocking potential. Now, because I'm probably not going to gank again before I get level 4, I'm going to get another point in my 1, which is just going to be generically better for farming the jungle. Our goal is to get our golden blade online ASAP, and then basically as soon as we can finish our golden blade, back up, buy it, and then our jungle clear is no longer trash. So we're going to clear this camp plus the other little one just to make sure they're on the same timers. Then we'll grab our golden blade. So Arachne's kit itself is actually pretty straightforward. In general, you're going to be using the spiders to initiate against your opponent, although not to be underestimated, it's also a decent getaway skill. Reminder, you get bonus movement speed on the way to your spideys as well. So if you toss it in the direction you want to run away, you do get that little spider web to actually help you get away. Plus it places down the web, which means that you can actually have a disincentive for like an opponent to chase you, which is quite nice. Arachne's 2, simply going to give you an attack speed stim, and then if you hit a target 3 times in a row with it, it will stun them. Now, it does have to be all 3 times in a row on those autos, so if you auto attack 2 different targets while it is procced, you're not going to get that stun. You do have to hit the same target 3 times in a row, and then you will get that stun. And then her 1 is just going to give you a nice heal over time, as well as a damage over time on the opponent that you hit. So you're going to be using that as your main PvP ability, also using it on the big jungle camps in order to kill them faster. Now Zongqi isn't quite level 5 yet. I'm going to see if I can gank him before he gets 5 because he's super hard to kill. Got to throw down the spideys. The spideys are mostly going to tank the tower for us. Then we can grab the kill with our Bellona and get back out of dodge and go back to farming. For our level order on Arachne, it is going to be 1, 4, 3, 2. So we're gonna max out our 1 for that bleed damage. Then we're gonna max out our ultimate. Our ultimate does lower the cooldown on Arachne's ult. The damage is cool, but more importantly, we want the cooldown because 80% of the time, we're gonna be using Arachne ultimate actually as a getaway skill and not an initiation tool. It's not horrible as initiation, but if you use it to initiate, you're kind of all out of ways to get out of the fight. Your 3 and your blink more often going to be the way that you get into a fight. That way you can save your CC immune ultimate in order to get out. Then after the 1 and the 4, we level up the 3 because the 3 is going to give us increased slow duration, which is quite nice. Hit Baba with all 3 of our attacks on our 2, which means he gets stunned right in the middle of his getaway skill, has to use the ulti, and goes down anyway. Gonna throw down a quick ward over here at the red buff just to see if it is up. It is not, so I'm gonna go back and do our red. And then for our next item, we're gonna get an item right now that I highly, highly recommend in the jungle. For most auto attack junglers, I probably wouldn't get it on like Mercury, but on a lot of auto attack jungles, the Erlings of the world, Kali can utilize it really well, Arachne, and that's going to be Ichivol. Ichivol is one of the better items in the game right now. There's a reason why hunters are grabbing it every single game as their first item. Makes you ridiculously hard to box. And it also gives a disgusting amount of power and attack speed. Just overall, a fantastic item, and you're basically always going to have it stacked up. It is really, really good. So make sure you grab it. Zonqui ulti is down. I should be able to kind of just jump right in, pop both my 1 and my 2, and get them going. So your general idea on Arachne, you're going to be blinking in on a target. You're going to be hitting them with the 3. That means they are now slowed. Fantastic. You chase them right on down. You pop your 1 and your 2, usually at the same time. They're both stims, so you can just pop them both and have them going on you. Then by the time you get your 3rd auto off, they're stunned. That first auto, of course, is going to put that bleed and the heal on them, or the heal on yourself, I should say.
Enemy ultimate down.
Now, a couple of little tricks with Arachne. One is how you utilize her webs.
You're on fire.
Arachne's webs are the most interesting part of her kit. They have the most gameplay implications. You can use them to block off hallways. So if you want vision on an area, your little spideys will give you vision when people walk over them. Which means that you can use them to kind of block off areas so you know who is coming. You can do what I've done over here, which is set up several spiders by a camp and then use them to tank the objective. This works on any objective that moves. So you can use it on the Scorpions, you can use it on the Gold Fury, you can use it on the Pyromancer. You basically just throw down up to 3 webs. You can't have more than 3. And then you run the camp right on through. And then you leave the radius really quick, and it's going to aggro onto your spiders. And your spiders will go ahead and tank it for you. This allows Arachne to actually solo the Gold Fury. One of the few characters in the game that can actually solo the Gold Fury still early in the game. Not many people can basically solo her anymore because of those big channeled attacks. But Arachne actually does not care about that because her spiders will simply take it for her. Now that we've got our Ichivol online, our damage has gone through the roof. I'm going to throw down a little sentry ward over here on the fire. Plus I'm going to start getting creeps set up. Baba jumped to middle. Looks like they are probably going to be able to kill her without... Nope, they're not going to be able to kill without me, so I'm going to blink in. Have my one already pre-popped, ready to go. Gonna throw down a little spider web right here just to make sure that Loki can't actually walk through that way without giving up vision on him. Another thing, thank you, Loki, for reminding me. Your spiders also give you vision on a target, which means if they're a stealth character, you will be able to see them in stealth. Slash, you have that trail that you can follow towards them, and you get that bonus movement speed on that trail. Pyromancer is going to be spawning in 20 seconds. So I'm kind of set up over here ready for that Pyromancer to go ahead and spawn. And my goal is to be right when that Pyromancer spawns to basically run him through all of my little spiders and just kind of try to do this instantly. So I run him right through all the spiders. Unfortunately, Loki is here. So we're going to have to let this one go.
Time for your deletion.
Forgot that we don't want to go against on Arachne. We don't typically want to go against tankier characters. Arachne is definitely a burst damage squishy killer. She does well against other assassins. She does well against hunters and mages. She really likes being in a 1v1 fight. She's not much of a team fighter, and she definitely can snowball in the early game. So you don't want to go against the tankier characters. Gods like Cullen, you're not going to be able to burst them down, and they can oftentimes win an extended engagement against you, or kind of just hold out long enough for their team to get there. Also, devastating to Arachne is disarms. Whether that's coming from a Bologna, it doesn't matter what the source of the disarm is. Disarms simply wreck Arachne. So you've got to make sure that the enemy team does not have a bunch of disarms. It will absolutely ruin your day. Now I got to go ahead and use my ultimate right here. I'm going to drop down on this, try to secure it. We're not going to be able to get it, and their whole team is here, so we're just going to die. Unfortunate that they always know we're on the objectives without wards. Now we're going to start working ourselves into a stone cutting sword. We're going to grab our beads as well, and another century ward. Stone cutting sword, super cheap right now, tons of power, pairs really well with the Icky-Vol as well for the auto attack junglers. You're going to see this combination on pretty much everybody that's an auto attack jungler right now. The Icky-Vol stone cutting sword is really, really strong, and it's not that expensive compared to the power attack speed pen that you kind of get from those two items with each other. The actual golden blade itself is more of an Arachne item because she doesn't have any abilities that can actually clear the camps. She does need help with them. Her clear is certainly on the weaker end for junglers, which is why you get that golden blade, just to kind of help her out a bit. Somebody like a Mercury doesn't inherently need the golden blade, right? Because you've got the kick and stuff like that. But Arachne literally has no abilities that she can use to clear those camps.
An enemy has been slain
So easily.
For guys that you want with you on your team on Arachne, you're going to want people, one, that can actually team fight. Arachne, not much of a team fighter, so you're going to need some other characters on your team that are actually good at that. But more importantly, for the combinations with Arachne, you're going to be looking for people that can either enhance you, like a Fafnir giving you more attack speed, like a Aphrodite giving you movement speed, as well as helping keep you alive, and of course people that can more traditionally keep you alive, that being the Gebs and the Capris and that sort of thing. Those are also extremely useful for Arachne. Gonna use my ultimate right now and just try to skadoodle my boodle away from all this action. Immediately followed up with the blink, plus use my 3 for the bonus movement speed, and that is going to get me out of there. Using my ultimate, climb on that ceiling, get yourself out of harm's way. Now, another little tidbit on Arachne that most people don't know, it's not that useful because of the nature of how you use Arachne ultimate, but it is cool. And that is you can pop your 1 and your 2 while in Arachne ultimate. So while you're climbing on the ceiling, you can actually pop your 1 and your 2 and have them ready for you when you land on the target. That way you don't have to land and then press them in order to have it ready. Because you're mostly going to be using it as a getaway skill, it's actually not that important, but it is pretty nifty. I'm actually just going to go over and continue doing this Pyromancer since my little Spidey started doing it. Kind of might as well. No harm, no foul. Bogus jump is down, which means I can actually, I can actually run away because there is a ADC here.
Good hunting.
Gotta go, gotta go, 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 go. Gotta go, gotta go, gotta go, go, go. Just trying to secure the blue buff for my team. Now, because we've got a built-in heal on Arachne, it does mean that we can stick around a little bit longer than other characters sometimes can. Loki's on his way over. I'm gonna try to cut him off from going this way. With my webs, force him to run in a less optimal path. Stun down on the Zonqui from our 2. Grab ourselves a couple more kills. Go run through their jungler utilizing the sustain from Arachne 1 as well as that Sylvanas heal. Another thing on Arachne, because she's so good at 1v1ing, it means you do pretty constantly want to be invading the enemy jungle. She's a confidence character is what I call her. There's several characters in the game that are confidence characters, which is basically you have to believe that you're gonna win the 1v1, because if you're not gonna be confident winning the 1v1, you're not gonna have the play style that most benefits Arachne. Just gonna pop my ultimate, run away from this one. You can see most of the time we're just using this ultimate in order to run away. Also keep in mind when you land from your ultimate, it does create that giant web field, and that web field does give you all of that bonus movement speed, that slow action. It gives you everything that your regular web gives you. Gonna head back in towards this gold period, just try to secure that for the team. And then back it up a little bit and start to work on Serrated Edge.
Back. Your right tower is under attack.
So we're gonna have flat pen from the stone cutting sword. We're going to get percent pen from our Serrated Edge. And in general, Arachne does not need a hastened. Some characters like Bakasura really need the hasten because they have a hard time keeping up with other targets. But because of Arachne's web, giving her that combination of increased movement speed for you and slower movement speed for your opponent, you can always catch up as long as you're landing the ability. And it's not that hard of an ability to land. It's a pretty thick wall, and if you kind of hit any portion of that line, it is going to proc on them. I hear a Zonqui around, so we're going to give him the old chase down as well. Zonqui uses his ulti. Don't have to continue to chase into that. That's a win in of itself. Now, this game is looking like a kitten size. Might also be a pretty decent item. They've got a fairly tanky Baba Yaga, who's going to get a lot of HP because of the Warlock Sash. They got a Zonqui, they've got a Bogus. So it looks like a Kins this game is also going to be good for grabbing some extra damage. Kin size in general right now coming a little bit back into the meta because large HP pool builds seem to be on the rise again. If characters are building like 3k plus HP, that really increases the efficacy of the kin size value. Although this game, I need 500 more gold and basically 1 level to rank up the mannequin. So I'm going to wait until after I rank up my mannequin before I get that kin in that last slot. Now, Golden Blade itself is not an item that you actually need to sell. A lot of people feel like they have to sell Golden Blade at the end of the game. There are better items for like the PvP battles. But there's actually nothing wrong with the Golden Blade and just continuing to help you farm, continuing to help you clear out lane minions, particularly if the enemy team is pushing your phoenixes and getting like fire waves. If you don't have a Golden Blade on Arachne, you literally cannot help like clear those fire waves because you just simply don't have the damage AoE in order to do so. So I actually don't entirely hate keeping Golden Blade on a god like Arachne. It just depends on game to game. So you're gonna have to play it by year, see if at the end of the game you want to sell it. Maybe you can get a 3k pot instead. 3k pot way better than trying to sell an item and get a different one. So just keep an open mind when it comes to the late game Golden Blade. You can sell it, you don't have to sell it. You can also see that I'm prioritizing a lot of farm on Arachne. There's always something more to farm. Because you can do the Gold Furies and Pyros by yourself, there's never an excuse to not be doing something. You're ganking, you're farming, you're soloing an objective, it don't matter. You're invading their jungle, you are all up in their business all the time. Be the annoying spider that you were meant to be.
I corrupt, then I eliminate.
Late game in these team fights is when Arachne is going to become the most difficult to play. So up until right about the 20-minute marker, I wouldn't say that Arachne is crazy difficult. She's more of a pop your stims, don't miss your 3, congrats, you probably got a kill. But in the late stages of the game, this is where Arachne starts to fall off because you're going to be in team fights all the time. Way less opportunities to actually get pickoffs, which is where Arachne thrives. And you got to start to be really careful in the team fights with your positioning. Always essentially going to want to be utilizing your ultimate for that getaway. Bacchus is here. Loki is here. Good chance I've got to use my ultimate right now. Just gonna have my finger on the trigger in case I do. Doesn't look like I'm gonna end up needing it. Gotta wait for that Brawler's proc to run off of me so I can heal back up in the jungle with my serrated and my 1. And we're right back into the fight. As long as Arachne hasn't gotten 100 zeroed, she's still in the fight. Gotta pop my 1 and my 2. Gonna dash right there onto the Artemis. Force her to use her ultimate. Loki ult is down, and now I'm just gonna be running away. You're gonna be doing a lot of running away on Arachne at the end of the game. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with kind of utilizing yourself as a giant lure for the team. You can see the Loki tried to ulti over at me. I forced the Artemis in order to use her ult. Probably not gonna get a bunch of damage or kills at this stage of the game with Arachne. But you've always got that threat of 1v1ing their backline, which means they have to try and peel you. So just be super annoying at this stage of the game. Run them around, force them to use actives and ult and movement abilities. And then your team can go ahead and clean up. Oh look, an Oni. We're shoving up right. I'm gonna go ahead and shove up left. At this point, they probably can't contest us no matter where we go. Speed buff is really far away. I'm just gonna take their purple, give me a little bit of extra.
Unacceptable.
Flat pen plus the extra attack speed. Make sure I'm closer to cap even when I don't have my 2 procs.
Your team has destroyed a levy right back.
For these Phoenix fights, it's oftentimes good to get some spider webs out in the jungle. Just so you can see if somebody is trying to be sneaky behind you. So throwing out wards like this, throwing out webs like this that act as wards, so they can't sneak around your team and catch you off guard. Oh, and it creeps that push all the way up. Haven't really had an opportunity to back yet, as much as I would have liked to back. We need to be a little bit careful here. Our Sylvanas is a little bit more confident than I am right now, because we only have 3 of us here, and they've got all 5. Just gonna pop my beads, walk away, and I should be able to grab us. The tier 2 tower over in the left lane. Throw out a little web, just so if they come around that corner, they're gonna be slowed. Pop my ultimate to make sure they can't kill me. And I really, really need to back. Now I can get myself that Kins. Gotta help us do a ton more damage to that Zonqui. We'll rank up our actives for the lower CDs. Head back out towards the speed buff. And if our team fight doesn't go too bad, we can shove it right down mid.
Attack middle lane.
Come on, speed buff. I know you want to do it. There you go. Go. Speed buff, go.
Secure the area.
Now I need to get some deep wards out so I can continue to look for picks. This is where it's really, really hard to get any picks out. Holy cow, apparently not hard to counter like 12 different wards though. Ooh, Loki does not win this 1v1. He cannot come out like that. You can see I hit him with the 3, which gave me the vision of him there in stealth. And now we really ought to shove up the mid lane. Target's gonna have to be that Artemis in the back, so I'm gonna run right at him. Immediately have to pop my ultimate. That's okay, they're going for the peel. I'm gonna land right back down on top of him. And hopefully the rest of the team is gonna be able to clean this one up and put it away. Baba Yaga's dash is down. They're really close to killing the Baba on the back. There you go. Now they attack the Titan and we're gonna put this one away. So at the very end of the game, you can see in those team fights, you're gonna have somebody immediately peeling on you. The Bacchus was right on top of us the second we went in. Artemis just forced to use Tusky over and over again. And for the most part, we're just kind of chilling there, just waiting in the team fights, not really participating, but also just distracting the enemy team. Like if we keep 3 people distracted, we are in fact participating in the team fight. More importantly, we got the pick on Loki right beforehand, which is what Arachne is actually good at, guys. At the end of the game, you can sell that Golden Blade if you want to. If you want to grab an Atalanta's for a slight hastened effect, you can do that, or you can even go something more greedy like a Blood Forge and try to get that Snowball going for a late game Arachne Penta, guys. And that is your Arachne Jungle Gun. Thank you for supporting the Twitchiest community. If you'd like to see more videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel and always hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. Thank you for all your support and have a Twitchin' day, y'all.